Hello, this is Paranormal Girl, and I hope everyone had a good Christmas, and I hope everyone is having a good New Year's Day. I'm going to begin this year with a video called The Montauk Conspiracy, and it's entitled A Kooky Theory About Time Travel, Aliens, and Mind Control. But is it so kooky? The Montauk Project conspiracy, or the Philadelphia experiment, better known as, is a real-life Stranger Things conspiracy. The Montauk Project might be the craziest conspiracy theory of all time, simply because it manages to combine every possible other conspiracy into one gigantic ball of confusion. It rolls together time travel, Nazi gold, space aliens, mind control, teleportation, a faked moon landing, black helicopters, and the AIDS virus, all in the form of alleged top-secret experiments conducted at Camp Hero, aka Montauk Air Force Station in Long Island, New York. Elements of the Montauk conspiracy are allegedly the basis of the hit TV show Stranger Things. And if you haven't actually watched the show, I suggest you do, because it is very, very interesting. I quite enjoyed it, actually. And there is a series 2 out already on Netflix. Born in 1946 in Long Island, Preston, Nichols claimed to have degrees in engineering, psychology, and parapsychology. In 1983, he released the first of a series of books on the Montauk conspiracy called The Montauk Project, Experiments in Time. Nichols claims that his work was the result of his own deeply repressed psychological memories of being involved in the Montauk Project. He claims the top-secret experiment was an extension of the 1943's Philadelphia experiment, aka Project Rainbow, in which the US government allegedly tried to make a Navy cruiser invisible by manipulating the electromagnetic field around it. The site had originally been used by the US in World War I and II to house a massive gun emplacements to deter the enemy attacks via the ocean. In the 1950s, while Camp Hero in Long Island was still being used as a radar center to anticipate Soviet attacks coming in over the Atlantic, researchers attempted to improve on the Philadelphia experiment with an eye on studying the psychological effects of electromagnetic fields. One of the goals was to induce schizophrenia at the touch of a button. The US Congress apparently rejected a plan for furthering the experiment because they deemed it too dangerous. But apparently, experiments were still conducted and funded by stolen Nazi gold. Nichols alleges that these experiments were picked up by the US government sometime in the 1960s at Brookhaven National Laboratory on Long Island. But after it became clear that many of the experiments would require a large radar dish, it was moved to the Air Force facility on Montauk. High-tech equipment was moved to Camp Hero, and much of it was stored in an underground bunker. Among several things alleged in Nichols' Montauk books are the AIDS virus was created in a laboratory there. The facility at one point involved a dozen levels, most of them underground, and employed hundreds of workers. There was a 50-foot titanium ziggurat on the premises for no apparent reason. Experiments were conducted upon kidnapped homeless people who endured tremendous blasts of electromagnetic radiation to see how it had affected them psychologically, and most of them died. Experimental flying saucers were invented there. Nikola Tesla, father of modern electricity, really didn't die in the New York City in 1943. Rather, his death was faked. He eventually moved out to Long Island in the 1970s to head the Montauk Project. Tests that were meant to enhance subjects' psychic powers rendered them able to materialize objects out of thin air. One alleged test subject says that although he became more psychic, he also experienced PTSD and chronic stress as a result. A time tunnel was developed that allowed researchers to travel anywhere they wanted in time and space. They allegedly traveled to meet Jesus Christ and also dabbled with the Civil War and World War II to point where the war's outcome was completely changed. Friendly extraterrestrials were encountered through the time tunnel, and they freely shared technology with the researchers. The USS Eldridge, the ship rendered invisible during the Philadelphia experiment, got sucked into hyperspace via the time tunnel and was trapped there. Unfortunately, a terrifying alien monster found the time tunnel, squashing equipment and eating researchers, which led to the time tunnel being shut down and the monster killed. Nazi scientists from the infamous Operation Paperclip were recruited to work at the Montauk facility. Experiments in mass psychology and terror, including the mysterious Men in Black, were developed there. The Jersey Devil, a cryptozoological creature whose mythology extends back into the early 1800s, was allegedly created there. Superhumans were created in the laboratory, as well as special serums designed to turn regular humans into superhumans. Black helicopters were made at Montauk and used it as a landing base. The alleged moon landing hoax of 1969 was filmed at Montauk facility. Kidnapped runaway boys were exposed to unbearable physical and mental torture designed to completely crush their identities. Several boys didn't survive the experiments and were buried on the premises. In 1983, the teleportation experiments culminated in a hole ripped in space-time in 1983. Montauk today, Camp Hero State Park. In 1981, the Air Force Base at Camp Hero was shut down, which is exactly when strange theories about the Montauk Project began to emerge. These days, the old creepy radar station still remains, as well as a ghost town of buildings where workers on the Montauk Project allegedly slept. There has never been any evidence, at least none that's been issued to the public by the government, that there were ever underground bunkers at Montauk, much less a 50-foot titanium pyramid or giant factory laboratories where they made space aliens, the Jersey Devil, and the black helicopters. People who visited the site says it's the strangest state park they've ever seen, and that something just doesn't feel right about the whole area. And I believe them. Something very strange at that abandoned radar station out there is on Long Island. So what do you think? Do you think they really did create a time tunnel? What is going on, or what was going on at Montauk, I wonder? Do you think this place is still active? Let me know in the comments below.